I am finally ready to create on a daily basis with you and share my process. Let's walk and talk. I walk and talk, which is a thing that I do all over the world because it helps me get in my body and get the ideas in my head. I'm Arabella DeLuco, and I'm a creator in her mid 40s. So, yes, it's taken me a long time to get where I am today because I had to develop systems and not just creative processes to get my work done, but also a value system, a personal values, so that I can feel like this is something I can trust myself to do consistently. Because that's the thing about doing anything to build a community and an audience, is that you have to be trustworthy and you have to be able to get people to trust that you will show up for them every day. And prior to now, I didn't understand what would get me to continuously bring something to you of value. I have never thought of myself as someone with great discipline, self-discipline. I'm not a gym rat, although now I consistently strength train because I have a gym. I joined a gym that has great trainers and small group classes that work for me. But prior to that, it was hard for me to motivate myself to work out. But I knew that it was good for me. And I think that it was just all of these years of realizing that I'm worth it, that my body is something that I need to take care of because I only have one of this in this life. When I was young, I had straight A's except for gym. Yeah. I really disliked going to gym. I felt like it was hard. And I also disliked going outside because I had bad allergies. And so as I've gotten older and I've been able to become more stable and grow into the woman I am today, I don't need to. I feel like I've developed systems now where it's not hard for me to stick with something. I feel good about myself. I wake up in the morning and I want to be good to my body, and I want to be able to rely on myself, and now I feel like I rely on myself. And I trust myself. I've developed this self-trust over the years where I didn't have that growing up because of my particular childhood. I loved going to school because school when I was a kid was safer than home. And I just ended up being a high achiever because of that. Out of survival as a little girl, I became a valedictorian. I became this girl that achieved things because it was something I could get lost in. So when I got to college and I had more freedom and I lived on my own on campus, suddenly I didn't need an escape into school. And I actually barely went to my classes. I still did well because I was an English and political science major. And what I would do is I would just procrastinate it and then go to the computer labs. Yes, computer labs, because that's how old I am. We had computer labs. And so I would go and just all night write my papers. And so I'm a decent writer. So yeah, I've got decent grades. I still graduated with a 3.3 GPA. So, yeah, basically in college, because I was living on my own on campus and I was safe from my childhood, I just didn't need to achieve in school. So I partied a lot in college. It was finally like I let loose and I just partied in college. I got my degree in party animalness. I'm an Enneagram type 7, which is the enthusiast. So I am a natural enthusiastic person. And freedom is a value of the enthusiast. But what happened was because I didn't learn other values growing up, I didn't learn the value of hard work. I was just working hard in school because it was a means to survival. I wasn't able to apply that to the work I actually wanted to do. I like to spend things. I spend a lot of money on production equipment. I actually don't spend a lot of money on clothes, but you'll see my whole studio setup, production equipment and oil painting materials, art supplies. I can't help myself. I go to Blick and I'm like, I really shouldn't be in Blick. I should be painting, not buying more art supplies. So that's also another thing. I got to know myself. I got to know, what are my weaknesses, and my weakness is that sometimes I just look to plan and prepare instead of actually doing, because the preparing and the buying and the setting up is really fun for me. I love to tinker around and set myself up, with different things like this studio. But then as I've gotten even older and wiser, I also realize that there comes a point where enough is enough. That's enough taking classes. That's enough production equipment. I have what I need. I know what I need to know already to just go. And that is also part of, why it took me this long to get here, to start this channel that I feel 100% confident that I am going to keep going with this. And I am going to keep showing up for us. This channel is called right now We Create Daily, but I've also made a decision to put it under my own name at Arabella DeLuco instead of at We Create Daily, because I believe that this channel will evolve just as I will evolve. But my name is Arabella DeLuco. Arabella is the given name to me, and DeLuco is my married name. And I feel connected to that name. It's my husband's last name. And I'm proud of our partnership because it's also something that I've worked hard on. And without this partnership and the love that we have for each other, I wouldn't also be here. I wouldn't have all this abundance that allows me to have stability and be myself. I am blessed to have found a partner who loves me for who I am throughout my craziness. And we've been married for 12 years. So I'm proud of that, of this partnership that I have with my husband, because look at me, I'm crazy. Like, who does this? Who puts this rig up in their home? Like, no, I do. This is what I do. And when he met me, it was also what I was doing. I was live streaming I had a live streaming channel called Business Boomer, and I built a business out of doing live streaming early in, like I think I started that business in 2007, and I grew it, and it just crashed and burned because I was too early of an adopter. And that's also something that I've learned within my personal value system, is that sometimes you just have to, when you fail, you have to look at the failure and ask what you learned from that failure. Because there's a point where you have to give yourself grace, because life is about growing and learning, and you learn the most when you fail. You don't learn the most when you succeed. You succeed because of the learnings you gain from all the failures you've had in your life. So that's another value system, well, or that's another piece that's part of my value system. I stopped working for corporations almost 10 years ago. It's insane. And at first that was scary. And I don't recommend it for everybody, because you have to live. And I certainly noticed how that affected my husband in the beginning, when I stopped applying to corporate jobs. And again, it took me this long to finally, oh, oopsie, there's my microphone. Okay. I like my mic out of sight. I'm a filmmaker, so I like it out of sight. I don't like the podcasting mics in your face, so that's why I have a Rode NTG4 mic above me. This is the boom mic that you use for the documentaries. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So yes, it took a little bit to get out of that, to get used to that realization that I am not built to work for a corporation, that I'm built to be an entrepreneur, and that I create things that may not be, well, people may not be ready for it yet, or it's too early, and then, sometimes I have to wait. I mean, I believe in divine timing. I believe that if something isn't working out, I stop and I ask myself, why isn't it working out? What is preventing me from getting this finished? It's not ready to be born yet. There's a gestation period. I don't have children, but creating is like having children. It's you have to incubate the child. You have to incubate the idea. And then you have to work on it. You have to feed it nutrients in your body. And then if it's not ready to be born yet, it's not ready to be born yet. But sometimes it has to be born, even though your body doesn't want it to be born. But then you have to, or else the baby will perish inside of you. So that's also another thing. Yeah, there's a lot of people with ideas and things that they want to create inside of them, and they never finish it because of one reason or another. They're scared. And has that ever happened to you? It has happened to me. Although now I can look at it with this understanding and this wisdom that I've gathered through my years, and I can say, oh, why doesn't this want to be born? Is it me that is holding this back? Or is it not supposed to be born at all? Is it just like a bad idea? And I was just forcing it. And that's where this creative process is so cool, is this, let's not force it. And, going back to the thesis of this channel, staying human in the age of AI. I've used AI to help me script some of my old YouTube videos, and it was a slippery slope. I started not sounding like myself. I started sounding like ChatGPT, and I was just like, this is it. Stop, no more, absolutely not going to do this. I need a new process for this YouTube channel. And now, in the age of AI, there's so much content, there's so much slop, that the point is not to create more and more crap just to be consistent. The point is to create meaningful work that is valuable to others and to yourself, and then be able to replicate that through a process that is healthy for you, that doesn't burn you out. And that's why I love YouTube today. YouTube today is unlike it was before. YouTube has now focused on human creators and long form content and getting to know the human creators, because they know that that is what is necessary so that we can stay connected. They know also, on the other hand, on the business and financial side, that as the world is figuring itself out with, new forms of reaching consumers, because we are a capitalist society, we do work on the exchange of capital for something that it has perceived value. The YouTube platform knows that, or the people that run it know that this is the human to human connection is what allows brands to advertise in a way that other humans, the consumers will trust. That's also why YouTube has changed its model into these micro influencers and this interest-based recommendations. So what took me this long? It's also the environment within which that we are living in now. It has changed because of AI, for better or worse. I mean, there are pros and cons, and I just gave you a pro. The pro of living in the age of AI for us human creators is that we can now be human. We can just sink our teeth into being human and creating from our hearts. It's so beautiful because that is exactly what I'm good at. Yes, I'm smart, but I lived in San Francisco, and then I lived in LA before that. And in LA, there are creative geniuses for sure. And then in San Francisco, there are more so intellectual geniuses. And if you're just trying to be at the top of that, it's like you're gonna feel bad about yourself. And that's what I was doing, trying to be on top of that. I'm like, I'm not gonna be on top of that. You know where I am number one? Being myself. I am number one, being Arabella DeLuca. No one else has the experience I have. No one else has no one else has the experience I've had in life. That's period. I don't even have to explain that. That's the truth. No one else has the experience you have either. So the only way to thrive in the age of AI is to be your human self. And that, to me, is perfection. Now we have the freedom to be ourselves. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to start this journey with you for real. And please like, subscribe, comment. I want to get to know you. All of that jazz. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy creating.